So when we retrace into him, we don't know if it's a failure swing or we're gonna continue higher or continue lower.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Kind of do like you're basically asking
I
like
can try to
after.
show it if that's okay.
Yeah, you can for sure.
Should I share my screen?
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll just go on trading view. All right, I think this will do. What do you see? You see trading view?
Give me a moment. Yes, I do.
All right. So what I was trying to explain. Let me just find this. I want to use. Where is it? So here. So let's just say we have a range here. This is like your range, and then you get this manipulation. So this leg right here, this is the mani,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So we expect either a rebalance or to take out the overall high.
Mm-hmm.
For me, sometimes it can be confusing if we are gonna rebalance. So we're gonna do manipulation, you go rebalance, and then you continue.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Or you're gonna go and take out the overall high. So we reverse completely sometimes, and other times we do rebalance. So it's been confusing for me lately actually to like read if we're gonna run the highs, like go like this many, and then you go you know take out the overall high, or you just gonna go to the 50% of the range, or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just rebalance
Yeah, makes sense.
something like this maybe.
I mean, usually, uh, if you are in, that example that you just showcased,
Mm.
you want to see us not closing or not even going below that CISD level that you put there, meaning yeah, right there,
This.
like yeah, like after we hit 50%, you want to see a strong reaction out of either that CISD level or the 50% of the bullish range that you established, basically from that from the low of that soup.
Yeah, so something like here.
Yeah, yeah, somewhere like there. And if you don't see a sensitivity in there, or another or any reaction like yeah, you are going lower. It's all about
Yeah.
seeing how we are reacting out of these certain zones. And also that's
Mm.
like in my backtesting sessions, I don't know if you saw any or if you were in any, because yeah, I don't remember all of you guys that were attended there, but I pretty often I'm saying like I don't want to see us rebalancing the range here because it'll be more bearish for me, and that's kind of the example that you just showcase.
Ah, okay, makes sense. So what you're saying is that, let's just say this is a range, you get a mani like this,
Mm-hmm.
then you don't want like a deep retracement here.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
You like to be sensitive here, and then we're probably gonna go take the highs,
Yeah,
which would be this liquidity level
yeah, and
example.
I will turn my screen and I will show you something
Sure. Sure. I will just stop sharing mine here.
for sure. What is it? So we'll go from the same scenario that you put here. Okay, we have range, we have another soup, our
Yeah.
manipulation, and then we are going to the 50%. So now, what can happen right here? There's basically three scenarios like you showcase. The first one, we will just run higher and take whatever
Mm.
liquidity is here. The other one, we will show some sort of sensitivity inside the 50% of this range, the overall
Mm.
range, because you just created CISD. So if you will have some sort of sensitivity inside the 50% of the range, let's say it's around here.
Mm-hmm.
It depends how strong will react from there. But if you are bullish and this is your manipulation, then you would need to see strong reaction either of CISD level right here, basically of these previous highs, or if you put, your fib from this low to this high from that leg, 50% needs to react strongly, because then if we will go even deeper inside the ODE, more time than not what will happen, you will then rebalance the range from this high to this low, and then go even lower, and then possibly put manipulation, But if you will see something like this, like, okay, we rebalance the range, we are now going to 50%, and you will see the next leg closing above this EQ level. Basically, you will be creating order block at that point. That's a really strong thing, because then you are more than sure that we are going for the high on the left. And I'm pretty sure...
Makes sense.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it happened even today.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just the example, like we took liquidity, and CISD, and we just ran. But let me see. Even now, like, this is not... this is basically just your rebalance of certain range, taking liquidity and etc. But with this, like, this is your possible manipulation, internal soup, going higher. We took some sort of liquidity, we took internals. So now you need to see, strong reaction either in EQ, more preferably in EQ, or inside the OT of the range. So we push into the OTE, and then this candle is a confirmation for higher. Why? Because you are closing this order block. And then even this candle is even better confirmation, because you are closing above the highs on the left. But then, again, you took liquidity. So then, what do you need to see? A strong reaction of EQ of this range, or strong reaction from the previous highs on the left, which is perfect right here. And then again, same story. You're coming higher, taking liquidity, rebalancing the little range, and then this candle is closing above everything on the left, plus you are closing this order block. Meaning, you can put your stop loss right here, and you can expect delivery even higher.
This makes sense. This makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah. We'll see some examples of that in our backtesting session. Hey, MSD.
Hey, gentlemen. Sorry, just got back.
For sure, no problem at all. We just started. We just went over, some examples of PA.
Nice. Well, I participated in the pre-market, but I had to leave like 20 minutes after market opened, so I saw us skyrocket, and that was it. But by the looks from what I see on your screen, we've been running pretty much the whole day.
Yeah, we were. Yeah. It was a pretty clean day, to be honest. Really clean. Basically, pre-market accumulation, or market manipulation, and then internal soup, CISD, just running. Then I am open, we had some sort of rebalance / accumulation. And then you have basically your pretty easy short right here, pretty easy long right here, and then we just ran in this zone. Pretty much every order book that was created, held pretty perfectly throughout the whole day. So yeah.
Pitbull.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, if you go to the PA right now, there's something to ask. So if you look at these consecutive down close candles, looks like many, right? But it's not confirmed because we haven't done a CSD, right?
Yeah. For now, there's no confirmation.
No confirmation.
For now, we are just respecting the previous lows right here, so now you would need to see at least for longs closure above this range right here, or this zone. And for shorts, obviously you need to see closure below here.
Yeah.
Which might actually happen or not. Yeah, now you just need to wait right now for, you know, us to escape in the range, but yeah, it's too late for that, I would say. Helpful. So we can go forward. Guys, I was just asking, hi, like if you have any like problems with technicals, you know, like I don't know, manipulations or ranges or anything. Just, you know, you can say it right now and we can go over it in backtesting session. Because I want to, you know, make those as much helpful to you as possible. So from high we can go over basically from manipulations and their confirmations. I don't know if you any, you know, and if you have other things to go over.
Like Pitbull, from my perspective, we've already gone through it the previous time, but still, if you can reiterate and put some accents on when do we need to rebalance and when we can leave like some ranges behind to retrace sometime later. So like on, you know, specific examples, that would be very nice and helpful.
Okay, okay. Yeah, we can do that.
Sounds good, actually.
Okay, so we can go over that for sure. Anything else you want to go over, guys, or?
I would say also, again, I suppose it will be helpful for a lot of people, but like the sweet spot around like reversals around SMRs. So if we can go over several examples, can you please tell when we, let's say, when we displace and like if we create a block before displacing above CISD, right? And when we displace above, are we expected to retrace or we just run? And what are your thoughts about that?
Meaning like we can be...
Again, it's more about retracements. So when do you expect the price to reverse? Per se, we close above CISD, so technically we should just try it with a very, very little, with a huge response to the opposite side. But if we retrace to like 50%, how do we like play from that?
Okay, yeah, we can go over that for sure.
No, because like in a specific example, a lot of things that I see as a potential CISD, I enter on candle closure and then it starts to go back on me. So when should I account for a potential retracement, or when and what like should we do after that? Because like if we're bullish and it retraces, it's less probability. It shows signs of bearishness, but in a lot of instances, I enter on a candle closure, and it's pretty hard to withstand because, you know, when we close with a force, we're supposed to run. And what if we don't? The ranges are huge, potential stop loss is large, and like those specific situations.
Yeah, for sure we can go over it, yeah. And also, like, throughout the backtest, if any of you have, you know, any specific question about any fractal or anything, just stop me and we'll go over it. Because if you, you know, write your message, you know, into the chat, and yeah, I wouldn't be, you know, I won't be remembering all the fractals and stuff. So yeah, just, you know, stop me and yeah, we'll go over everything you want. Alright guys, just give me a second, I will just answer one DM and we can start. Also, this fractal looks pretty good. Can accumulation, dumping, can rebalance previous range. A lot of LRLR above us. Even internals. Looks like manipulations already placed in. Soup, fair swing, confirmation going higher. Maybe possible rebalance of EQ. And just mark out a few liquidity zones that we can expect to take if you are bullish. And if you are bearish. Okay. Right, so we can see right now, basically we're just, you know, going a little higher on 15 minutes, but let me see 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute we took some internals, basically push lower, rebalance this range, push higher, this is kind of crazy. 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. It looks sucks, this could be potential high for now. I kind of don't like, you know, how many candles we just printed here. Don't saw that in a long time. Kind of build LRLR, push higher, okay. Right, so now we're in PA, we can see kind of just building LRLR. We push a little lower, took some sort of internals, now we are playing basically inside this range, this small one. Now with this candle, we are nearly touching the EQ of the range. If we'll be able to get closure below it, kind of, you know, just order block retest, I would like to see us coming back to take this low at 427, at least that, and if you would be able to close strongly below it, then I would be potentially looking for us coming even lower and rebalancing the range even more. For now, this might be our manipulation for now. Soup, possible fair swing, not solving it, but yeah. Alright. Also, internal soup at the highs. So now, if we are bullish, we just created CISD, but for that we need to push a little higher, because why? We just have EQ for the bearish range right here. So now we need to see strong reaction. Strong reaction for me would be closing about at 458, kind of creating the order block. And then I'll be expecting it to take those highs on the left. Hi, this is Canada's example that I was telling you about. Like a 50%, if you create order block, you know, then you can expect the highs to be taken one more time. This kind of same thing, yeah. Right, so now we are closing below these lows, which is nice to see. We'll see if you take that low. Not yet, okay. So now internal soup. We can also adjust our range a little bit. So now what happened? We took another internal liquidity, we push higher again, we took those internals on the left, basically those highs, we closed above them, and now we are retesting them. The thing is that I don't like right now, it's not nothing wrong, but we just accumulating at the highs right now. So for me to be bullish, I need to see a strong closure above this zone right here, above this little accumulation. Otherwise, we just, you know, may go for some internal highs. We have another internal sub right here, and then we can just run it lower again. So for now, there is still no touch. Okay, strong candle. We are still not closing our accumulation. We are still inside the range. So maybe with next candle, we'll get it. Right, so now another internal soup, strong candle closing lower. If I'm correct, we should be around EQ of the range. Yeah, now we're inside the EQ of the range. Since we are going just, you know, by candle closures, this is not the best spot for entry for short or anything. Why? Because now we are inside the EQ of the range. If you guys would be able to see in live, you know, internal soup and candle printing lower, if you would be able to get an entry around here, that would be the best spot for you. You could put just your stop at the high and go from there. For now, I would just stay out for a bit. Right now, usually if you have some sort of reaction inside the EQ of the range, and then you will kind of flip it, meaning now we hit EQ, we have some sort of reaction, and now we just closed order block. Usually we can expect us taking the most recent low we created. Kind of logic behind it, we are not respecting the EQ. We tried to push it higher, we were not able to, and basically now we are confirming that we want to go lower. What's the benefit of this? You now doesn't need to have your stop at the highs. You can just reduce your risk and put it basically above that order block. Right, so what we can do right now is we can put two cons right here. We can put our stop loss to the order block high. Of course, by DJ's teachings, our stop loss is right now inside the FEG. By DJ teachings, our stop should be at a protected high right here, you know, but for my kind of logic at this trade, if I would see us coming back inside this FEG, that would be more bearish for me than bullish. Oh, so yeah, otherwise, yeah. So now I want to see distribution lower. First TP would be that low at 501, and then we could be looking for either 427 or possibly that 337 a week. Yeah, okay. Okay, kind of internal sub at the lows. Another internal sub, we are slowing down. Okay, scary candle. Now, if we are bullish, we need to see a strong closure above 512 candle. For now, this may be just rebalance of the bearish range, so nothing scary about it yet. We need to see how we react also inside this order block. So for now, I'm still staying bearish. If we will be able to get a strong closure below that 516 candle, that will be again bearish for me, and then I would be looking for these wicks on the left be possibly taken. Nice. Okay, so now we are closing below that 516, which is confirming for me that we want to go lower. We are also taking the first TP that we had on the left, basically at the first low at 501, and we are really close to that 427. Now we can take one off, and we can reduce our risk. We can put it right to that high of 517 candle. Or actually, there was internal soup, we can put it right there. So now we are taking liquidity. It's possible that we'll have some sort of bullishness, you know, in here. Best case scenario, I want to see us coming lower, taking that wick of 520 again, and I would like to see us coming to that 427 low. Internal soup at a candle, another closure below 521 would be bearish. Exactly that candle. Nice. So now what we can do, we can either exit our position or we can be trailing our stop loss. The way how I like to trail my stop is basically we'll see. I will DM DJ about it. The way I like to trail my stop loss is I will always place my stop loss into position where my original idea would be invalidated. So now, if then scenarios, if you are bullish, I'm in shorts now. If you are bullish, I need to see a strong closure above this 522 candle. Why? There's internal soup. If you will be able to close above it, you know, there's potential internal soup right here at the lows, and then CISD. So now we can put our stop loss right here. Again, why? Because if we will reach this point, it would mean for me that we are invalidating my original idea. So now we can confirm that. We are taking again that 427. We are continuing lower. Internal soup at that candle, also tapping the FEG on the left with this order block. So I would like to see the low be taken one more time. Nice, awesome. So now we are also taking that 337 wick, which is perfect. So now we can just close our position, to be honest. If you would be trailing the position, my stop would be probably at 526 or at the candle high of 527. Okay, so with now with this candle like this, we push lower, we took liquidity on the left, we push higher, created the order block, closing of this candle. I would expect now some sort of rebalance, at least to the 50% of the most current range, meaning if we take the range high to the range low, I want to see how we'll react inside EQ or possibly OTE. More time than not, if we are still bearish, we will just take some sort of internals, meaning we could take just 517 and then repeat back lower, which would be perfect because that's also inside the OT of the range, you know, so we will see. Okay, so now we soup that 517 high, we soup it. So now if you'll be able to get next candle closing about 537, that will be pretty bullish for me. Then I would be expecting us taking the highs on the left. If not, this would be the possible high, and I would like to see us rebalance the range or take the lows again. Okay, pretty strong candle. So now we can put our fib for the bullish range, meaning we will take the low of 527 candle to the high of that soup, meaning to the high of 537 candle, and now we'll see how we'll react inside EQ/OT. Internal soup at the candle high, meaning I want to see a little lower. Okay, we tapped the OTE of the range. We are retesting kind of the order block on the left. Also, I think this is breaker. I'm not sure. It's Chandler's not punk here. He will tell us. Right, with this reaction right here, we can pretty much anticipate that it will close above the highs of 536 candle, meaning that would be more bullish for me right now. So then our next target for longs would be this little range on the left. Also, this high is still protected. So if you are still bearish, I don't see us coming back to that high. But if you are bullish, you know, we will take it. Now we are kind of respecting bullish order flow. We are retesting the previous highs on the left. Internal soup. Kind of building EQ lows right here. If you'll be able to get closure above that 547, that's our possible long entry. Right here, we can buy two. Also looking at this, kind of do have LLR build up right here. It also seems like that staircase scenario that I was showcasing you to, or in the previous backtesting sessions. We will see. We'll see. Oh, I thought, oh, sorry. I entered with 22 cons, that's a little too much. Sorry for that, guys. So now first TP for longs would be this high. But if you are still bearish, this could be the possible high right here. Yep. So now I can, yeah, I'll see we'll get stopped out right here, yeah. So now if you are still bearish, I would like to see this being the high for now. And this could be actually, yeah. We are retesting the CISD right here. Another possible manipulation. I would like to see us coming back to these lows. Also, there is kind of no manipulation right here for longs quite yet, so you can enter right here. Also, now you need to see a reaction from 50% if you are not just run. You need to see a reaction from EQ of the range. You don't want to see deep retracement in this scenario. So, kind of internal sub at the highs, this candle closing below these EQ lows right here, meaning this is my kind of confirmation candle. I would like to see us coming back and running lower. Yep, that's confirmation candle. Confirmation candle, it's also 6 AM opening, meaning new 4-hourly candle is just opening. in this scenario, the first TP would be this low at 527. Internal soup. With the previous candle, this candle is closing the order block right here. What does it mean? I still want to see lower. Closing below internals. Okay, so now if you are going to rebalance the range high to the range low, I don't want to see us coming back to these highs and closing strongly above them. To be honest, I don't want to see even swooping the highs right here. Okay. Still, we need to see closure of 602 for me to be kind of more bullish than bearish. I still want to see us taking the lows right here. This could be potential manipulation, but it's too soon to tell, and also I don't like it quite yet. Also, time-wise, it doesn't make so much sense to me. Also, this again looks more like LRLR. Internal soup at that candle, so now this should be the spark. Perfect DQ retest right there. Candle closing, so now we should run. Okay, so now we are taking the lows. We are kind of hitting that our first TP, which is always nice, so we can take our partial. We can reduce our risk, meaning we can put it into the place that would be invalidating our original idea. So at this point we can put it our stop to this high. I will also delete these lines, so yeah, it will be easier for us to read. Okay. So now I want to see strong closure below that low of 527, and then I will be looking possibly for this low to be taken, because there is nothing much left other than that. Okay, we are closing, and now we are in distribution mode. Our next TP will be these lows on the left, this little area, and then we'll just wait for some sort of manipulation. Internal sub at that candle, not a huge fan of that right now. Internal sub at the highs. Strong candle closing below these lows, also nearly touching that 2 AM. So this is also a perfect TP spot or partial spot. So we can buy one more. And yeah, we can also reduce our risk right here, because why? If you go, the thing is with this, we can wick it, we can take the internal highs and then repeat lower again. So we can put a little above it, but yeah, we shouldn't come back to that high. It should be protected for now. Okay, so it looks like we are in sort of accumulation. If you'll be able to get strong closure above these highs, then I'll be looking for potential manipulation, the lows be placed and us running back higher, but yeah, it's too soon for that. Okay, this looks promising. Again, if not scenarios, if this manipulation sub fair swing, we are now kind of closing above that fair swing. I still want to see closure above these highs because for now we just created equal highs right here. So strong closure above that. It could be potentially a good entry for long. Okay. So again, for shorts, closure below that 641 to 640 candle, meaning I want to see lower. We still do have a lot of targets below us, so we just EQ that candle, next candle closing below, sweeping the lows, and now we are closing. Right. We're taking internals right here. Internal soup. Not a huge fan of that, to be honest. But still we need to be asking, is this manipulation? I mean, could be. For that we need to see closure above that 643. Otherwise we are still playing inside this range. Internal sub with a high of that candle, coming back lower. Okay, now we are closing above that 654 candle, creating CISD. There, okay. Alright, so now if you're bearish, this should be the high. I don't want to see us, flipping this candle, because then it would be another bullish order block. Also, you wouldn't be respecting bearish overflow at all. So now I would like to see us running and closing strongly again below that low of 702. That would be my next confirmation for lower. And to be honest, this looks pretty much exactly like this. It's just a small version of it. So to kind of protect ourselves, we can reduce our risk even more. But yeah. Oh, actually we don't need to do that, but yeah. This should be the high again, so. Okay, looks good. And it will take the whole trade off right here, if you are correct. Alright. Take it off. So now we should still go lower, we should still go to these, lows on the left. If you are in distributional mode, which looks like that we are. So now we'll just wait for some next manipulation to occur, and yeah. Okay, internal soup. So now again, we are playing inside this range from the high of 705 to the low of 709. Until we get above that 705, I'm still bearish. Internal soup at the high of that candle. If you'll be able to go below that 709, technically you can enter there, put your stop at the high of 711 and just target the liquidity right here. The risk to reward is not the best though. Internal sub with the lows. Slow candles, small and slow candles going higher. We hit 50% perfectly, and now we are sweeping the internals right here, closing lower. what you can do right here, you can have pretty tight stop on this one, and you can expect delivery right here. If you are still bearish, we should take this low. It's not the best trade. It's definitely not the best trade you can take, but yeah, it works out more time than not. We can take one off right here. One off. Then we can reduce our risk right here, and now since we are closing below this liquidity level, I want to see strong candles basically falling. Possibly we can go to these swing points. It's either that one or this one. Yeah. Okay, so now we are taking liquidity on the left, internal soup right here. Not a huge fan of that, to be honest. So now we are inside the 50% of the range, meaning we'll see how we react in here. Right, we are out of this trade, and now this could be actually our manipulation. Internal soup right here. I would like to see us closing strongly above that 717. Internal soup at that candle. Yeah, this if then scenarios, it is manipulation going higher, internal soup inside of the this should be it. Again, our stop doesn't need to go over here. Our stop can go pretty much perfectly below that internal soup right here, because we shouldn't come going back in here if we are still bullish, or if you are bullish, not still bullish. Yeah. In terms of TPs, I would like to see us taking this high of 711 candle. That will be the start, and then possibly, you know, reaching the swing points right here, maybe coming a little higher. Internal soup right there, not a huge fan of that. Confirmation candle right here. So if you're not in trade right there, you know, this is the next best entry, I would say. Internal soup at that candle, confirmation. So now, since we are kind of escaping the range, we don't want to see us coming back in it, you know. What can happen right now, basically we took internals, we can just flip the candle and continue lower if this is not our manipulation. So what we can do right now, we can reduce our risk, we can, you know, put it at the candle low right here. So by that, if I'm wrong, you know, we should be pretty okay. Internal soup at the highs. Okay, that didn't stop us out. So this is basically the last spot where we can, you know, kind of jump off. I don't want to see us coming back again inside that accumulation range, because then I would see this more bearishly than bullishly. Okay, so for now we are closing this order block, basically the CISD. Internal soup at the high. So now, if we are bullish, I need to see in the next candle to strong closure above that 739 candle. and if you are bearish, we just take internals. If you would be able to close below that 737 candle, that could just mean that we just rebalance kind of the range right here from the high of 705 to the most current low, and then we can potentially go even lower, meaning possibly for these smooth lows right here, or possibly even for that purple level that we got right there. Okay. I'm not a huge fan of that, even though like these candles are still slow, but we need to see strong candle through the highs if you are still bullish. Okay, and we are out. So now we took some sort of internals at the lows. We are taking internal highs at that candle. Nothing. Now we are kind of accumulating. If we would be able to get strong closure below 744, I would kind of expect us coming even lower. If you are still bullish, you will just take the internals right here. But if you are not, if you are bearish, you will take the lows again. Hello, 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 hello. So now we need to wait for that one candle that will tell us the direction. Okay, and this might be it actually. Internal sub at the highs, this candle is closing below this little accumulation. So now I would like to see us, you know, continuing even lower. Also, we need to have in our mind, we just took some sort of internals right here. So if 10 scenarios, if you are bullish, we might just go to the 50% of this range and then flip it back higher. So that's the reason why we'll be taking the first partial right here at the EQ, and then we'll wait for, you know, the price tell us if you are bearish, bullish, whatever. Also our stop can go just at the candle high because of that internal soup right there. Confirmation candle. Also we are tapping that EQ, so we can be taking that first partial. Now, where is the best placement for our stop loss? It's still that candle. Why? Because now we just took liquidity right here, so it doesn't make much sense for me to you know, put it to break even. Why? Because we just took internals, we can just flip it back, and if you are still bearish, we'll just retest EQ or this current range and then push it back lower, or maybe, you know, we'll just reverse it. But yeah, for now, best placement for us is still that high of 750 candle, or the most logical spot. Okay, kind of slow retracement higher. Candle closing like this, I would like to see strong candle coming lower. Okay, kind of retest over previous lows right here. Also, from the range high to the range low, we just hit 50%. Now, this is confirmation. So now we can actually reduce our risk and we can put it to the high of 758. We can leave it right here. And now I can expect us taking the lows again right here. This candle just retested the previous lows. This candle is again closing below this little order block right here, below this accumulation. So now we should see some strong candles through the lows. Internal soup. We are kind of slowing down, building a lower lower at the highs. Internal soup, not a huge fan of that, but you know, we know that manipulation not usually have, you know, this big ass wicks, so still want to see lower. Even though we can see some sort of reaction out of this. Internal soup at the candle. Okay, internal soup at the lows. Now with us closing build at 818, we should go for the big low. Now we're distributing, nice. Okay, so now we can reduce our risk even more, put it into profit. Now it kind of depends how where we are going. We can just take some sort of internals, we can go for the lows right now. Also, it's near 8:30. I don't know if we had some sort of news or anything that day. I don't know at all, so I mean, we'll see in a few candles. Internal soup right here, I'm not a huge fan of that. Yeah, but well, look, yeah, I'm glad to see here, yeah. Internal soup, we are kind of slowing down. Okay, so we are 1 minute before 8:30. Yeah, I think we had some sort of news. Alright. So now we kind of just take the whole liquidity that we just built up from that 5 AM till now. Okay. So now, new liquidity points. New candle low, new candle high, new candle high, so... We'll probably just skip a few candles, maybe to market open. We nearly hit 50% of the range, but we probably hit 50% of the new candle range. Yeah, we hit it perfectly. Also perfect retest of that, what's that, 2 AM candle. We hit 50%. It's kind of ballsy, but to be honest, I think I remember this day. Internal soup at the lows right here. Candle closure above this 840 candle would mean kind of like we should go higher. It would be our confirmation. Okay, internal soup right there, candle closing above that 840, meaning we can go 2 cons right here. Okay, put our stop loss at the low. So now, this is not example where I want to see us coming back inside the range. Now I want to see us coming, you know, higher. I want to see expansion move. Okay, candle retesting the previous highs. It's small candle, but how it closed? It closed above that 846, meaning I still take, you know, this is order block, and now we should go higher if we are bullish. If not, we will flip this candle and then I will be more bearish than bullish. Confirmation. Also sort of BPG for those of you that are interested in that. Now we are tapping the order block on the left. Not a huge fan of that candle since we are closing below the body of 850 candle. And now we are out. Okay. We are also a few minutes before 9 AM, so it means I will just go a little further and we'll probably just wait for market open at this point. Okay, strong closure above this 9 AM candle will be pretty bullish. Internal sub at the lows, push higher. Now we are in the region where we want to see us having some sort of reaction if we are bullish, meaning we are inside the OT of this previous range. Alright, we can kind of anticipate that we'll take these internals, at least these internals, if not those highs. But since we are before market open, we'll just wait for that. This kind of confirmation, why? We are retesting the previous highs, we are retesting the CISD right here. So now we want to see us coming higher. Internal sub at that candle. Nice push. Another internal sub. We are, you know, kind of getting slower and slower. Internal sub right there, candle closing like this below that 924. Okay. Another internal sub. Okay, so now we took the LOLR that we built up right here, and yes, we basically had the market open CSD right here. We are taking internals right now. Right there. Now, I kind of like to see this being the low, and now we should be pushing and closing above that market open level, or meaning 928 level. Would mean that I want to see us then take the high of 850, and then I'll be looking at 831. For those of you that are more ballsy, this candle was also perfect entry, but you need to have on your mind that you are in 50% of the range. But the thing is, we took internals right here. We are closing about at 931 candle, which should stay as sort of order block. It should stay sort of separate, and also now we are closing that FUG right here, BPG. There is multiple confirmations. But for us, we need to wait for that closure right here. We can take 2 right there. In terms of stop loss, there is no perfect stop loss in here. You need to see sort of, you know, just expansion right now. For those of you that are using BPGs or, you know, want to learn more about that, BPG right here. So I can put my stop loss right there. I hope DJ will not watch this review or this backtest. So now first TP 850 and then possibly the highs. Okay, great reaction. Internal sub right there. Can I retest of that 928? Sorry. Still, I want to see a little higher. I don't see this being, you know, manipulation. There's no way. Internal soup right there. Now we are taking liquidity again, closing out those highs, and also taking the 850 level, so we can definitely take one off. We can reduce our risk. Alright, not a huge fan of that candle. Internal soup, 2 candles higher, you know, CISD closing right now. Okay, internal soup. Now, if you'll be able to get strong closure below 944 candle, I'll be entering a short right there. Yeah, this should be the high. So now we took internals right here, we took it, pushed it back lower. Now we took internals again, close CISD right here, push it back higher, meaning if you want to be too zoomed in, possible money, soup, fair swing, and now we are closing below that 944 candle. Meaning I would like to see us not even rebalancing, to be honest. That's 50% right here. We will see how we react in 50% and EQ, but this should go lower. Retest of that order block, and now we are just slicing through that EQ. We are not even reacting, meaning I want to see us, you know, coming back strongly or down lower. Okay, with EQ, internal sub right here, we are still inside this range. We can delete this one, we can delete this, and also this. Also internal sub at candle, 950. It's nearly closing here, we are not closing yet below. This is our confirmation. So now, if you're not in trade right here, this is the next best spot, because I really don't see us coming, you know, just flipping this and coming back higher again. This should be the confirmation. We are also breaking out of the accumulation. So now this should really be the spark of the move, and we should just be dumping right now. Yep, closure below that 932. That's really bearish for me. I need to see lower. I want to see lower. Kind of looking on the left, what we can, you know also have on our mind some point of interest where we can see some sort of reactions, meaning there is our CISD, so we still can have some sort of reaction out of that, you know, so it's pretty good spot for partial. But other than that, there is nothing that should be holding us. Right. Not much rows. We just went over or something, but yeah. So now we are retesting the 932 low. I want to see us coming lower. Again, this scenario, if you get strong rebalance, I wouldn't be a huge fan of that. Now closure like this is a bit of confirmation. So now I want to see lower. Also, we do have 10 AM opening in 3 minutes. We can definitely take a partial right here. We can reduce our risk, meaning we can put it our stop to that high of 956 candle. Okay, the name is opening. Okay. So now, if then scenarios, if we would be able to get strong closure below the 10 a.m., I would like to see us coming lower for that, 827 low, possibly, for that purple level. If we are bullish, we need to see a strong closure above 956, and then possibly we'll run it the highs again, but yeah, that's a little too soon for that, yeah. Right. Okay, that candle is telling. So now we took, we took liquidity right here, we took internals, pushed it back lower, 10 AM is opening, we push higher, this candle internal soup, and then the 10.05, we soup the lows again, and the same candle is closing above 10.04, creating that order block. So now I would like to see us pushing back higher, meaning we can close this position, we can take two, we can put our stop loss not to these lows right here, we can just put it below this candle, also BPG right there. We can put it right here, and now we need to see a strong candle throughout the highs. We don't want to see us coming back inside the low, to the EQ, blah blah blah, because then this area would be invalidated. In terms of targets, first TP, this swing point right there, and then we can be looking at potentially taking the highs again. Also, it should be around OT of the region, if I'm correct. Yeah. I mean, we can take it also at the EQ, but I'm just coming, like where is the liquidity, and the nearest liquidity to the EQ is those highs right here. But also we can just, take the partial at that tap of 2 AM. It just makes sense for me, to go for the liquidity first. Because then, if you take that liquidity, there is certain scenarios that I can expect. We will take the liquidity, we can possibly push it back lower inside the EQ or this range, and then closure above that point would mean for me that we are going higher. Or we can just take the internals, maybe push it back lower, kind of rebalance this little range, then closure below this little range, or this little low would mean that I want to see lows being taken again. So yeah, but for all that I need to see some liquidity to be taken. Sure, we can have some sort of reaction out of EQ, but yeah, that doesn't happen. We are just pushing higher. So now we need to see how we'll react after we'll take that liquidity, if we will take it. Internal soup at that candle. Now strong candle through those highs. We can definitely take one partial right here. Again, there is not, best stop right now, like possibly we can put it to 10-10 candle. I mean, yeah, we can do that. So now I'll be looking for, those highs to be taken, but again, if that's our manipulation, it's still protected, we might not take it for now. Also, since 10 AM opened, we just push higher. So for those of you that are, watching at those stuff, there's also a little sus that, we just are pushing higher without anything, without any, swooping the highs, or yeah. It's 30 versus 9. the thing is, if the 10 a.m. opened and we'll take the liquidity right here, like we'll can soup the lows of that 8 a.m. candle, then I would see us coming back for the highs. But it's sad that we just opened a new 4-hourly candle and we are just running throughout the highs. Also, it's kind of straight up move, you know, so I would be surprised if we just take the liquidity right here or take the highs again. Internal soup at the highs, not a huge fan of that. Also, we are inside this order book right now, or CISD. Also, I think this is kind of breaker, but yeah, you need punk for that, or West. So now we retested those highs on the left, which is nice. We are closing strongly above the 1013. So the next candles will be telling. Internal sub at the highs. Okay, for now we are just rebalance this range of those three candles. Also those three candles little sus. Why? Because we took internals, push it back higher, push one candle lower, take internals again, and now if we'll be able to get a strong closure above 1017 candle, I'll be looking for the highs be taken. If you'll be able to get strong closure below 1014 candle, I will be looking, to be honest, for like for the lows to be taken again. I want to see that 10 a.m. low to be taken. If you're going for the meaning we can put our stop loss below that zone right there also. So this candle strong closure below, oh, it's not strong closure, we are closing below that. Okay, internal soup. Now this candle is souping the high over the 1020 candle. Also the same candle is closing below the 1020 candle. Meaning I would like to see us just running right now if you are still bearish. Also what we can see right here, we are kind of building liquidity for later. So best case scenario, you know, we'll take the lows here and then possibly we can run it back later. But yeah, meaning again, we can take two contracts right here. We can put our stop loss not to the all high right here, to the protected high. We can just put it to the 1021 high. What I like to do is, you know, just a few ticks about that, but yeah, you got a point. Okay, strong candle. Also right now we should be around EQ of the range, meaning if you'll see some sort of like, you know, sensitivity inside this area, then we need to have in mind, like, if you'll close up the 1021 level or 1021 candle, again, it's not the best for us. So now we need to see strong distribution lower if you are still bearish. With EQ, we are pushing a little higher. Internal soup. Another internal soup. Another internal soup. So now we are kind of inside a little range right here. So now for those of you that saw my, you know, previous backtesting sessions, or, you know, were in the previous backtesting sessions, strong candles lower, kind of staircase going higher, and now we are inside the OTE with soup. The next candle, it will close below these lows, you know, then I would like to see us coming back to those lows again for that 10 a.m. low. Yep, right there. We can reduce our risk. I don't want to see us coming back to that high again. Also, this candle is closing below that, so now we want to see distribution. Okay, we are taking internal right here. Shouldn't be a big problem though. If we are going higher, we should be respecting the EQ or this range right here. Okay, another internal sub. This candle is also closing below this little accumulation, also closing below the 1031 candle. Meaning, again, I want to see us coming lower. Also 1030 SMR time, but still, I want to see lower. Internal sub right there. If you go from range high to range low, 50%. Yeah, okay. Now again, same story. We created order block, retested it, pushed it back lower. You know, same story right here. We are creating order block, we are closing below 10 a.m. So you know the drill, we should go a little lower. And we are taking those lows, so now we can take partial. We can take one off right here. Internal soup, strong candle pushing, which kind of makes sense. We just took liquidity right there. The thing is, if you go higher, how much higher we can go? Internal soup right here. Okay. So now, if you'll be able to close above that 1037, I will be looking how we react inside the EQ of the range. I mean, possibly we can go even for the 1026 candle wick, but in that scenario, I wouldn't be looking for shorts anymore. Yeah, same thing. Like this happened like 3 times already. We have, you know, possible manipulation or possible, you know, 3 continuous candles. Right before we close above that, we had little order block, and now confirmation for higher. So now we need to see how we react inside the EQ. Okay, so now this candle is kind of telling me like, okay, we should go lower. But for now, we are inside EQ of the little range from 1040 to 1044. So now for me, confirmation for lower would be closure below the 1040. Confirmation for higher, closure above 1045. Okay, we push higher. Basically with this move, those 2 candles just tap 50%. We push it back higher, rebalance the range for shorts, and now we are closing below that 1047 candle, meaning I want to see us coming back now to that low of 1040. Also, we can then reduce our risk right here. We can actually put it right there at 1047, but yeah. Okay, internal sub right here. I don't see this being my manipulation for now. We can put our stop loss to right basically we can leave it right there and we can just wait for something else. Internal soup, kind of pushing higher. Okay, now we basically just retested the order block, pushing candle lower again. Nearly again closing below the 1053 candle will be a more and more bearish. Internal soup, confirmation right there. Under internal soup, and we are pushing lower. So now how much lower we can go? We can possibly go retest it at 2 AM. Like, I mean, we do have liquidity right here, but I don't expect we'll just slice through it, you know, easily. We can also reduce our risk right here. Big candle, nice to see, okay. So now we are retesting the previous 2 PM candle. Also again, is this our manipulation? I don't think so. We need to see more for that. Okay, now we're inside the inside the EQ of the range of 1059 to 1104. We are kind of accumulating. Okay. Now, since this candle is kind of closing above that 1111 candle, I will be a little more careful about shorts. Internal soup, 3 candles higher. 1122, okay. Also 1130 or around that area is also when a lot of the soups are happening and a lot of reversals can happen, so we can definitely keep an eye on that. And also we are inside this range right now. So now we are just tapping the EQ or the previous range. Okay, we are closing over the order block. Not a huge fan of that. But in the same time, you know, like we are kind of just building a level R right here. Like we are not distributing higher, that's the thing, you know, like first of all, I don't think that this is manipulation, but if it is manipulation, possible fair swing, we should see distribution going higher, you know, with fast candles, strong candles. Okay. Okay, so it stopped us out. Basically, we took internals again. This candle is souping internals right here, and now we are again pushing lower. With kind of like that. Yeah, I can see us taking the lows again. We are kind of retesting CISD right here. Yep, exactly, guy. Soup CISD. Also internal right there. I mean, I can still see bearish. Yeah, at least for these lows. Also, there's again a LR build up right here. We can re-enter right here. I wouldn't be ashamed of this trade at all. Not a huge fan of how we are just accumulating right now. We need to see a strong closure lower. And why I'm not a huge fan of that? Because we are at 50%, so now, you know, I want to see just lower. Okay, internal sub, this candle is kind of closing below everything on the left, which means this should be the spark of the move. I don't want to see us flipping this candle and closing above 917 price point, above that 1135 candle. That's confirmation right there. Okay, if we'll be able to close below 1139, yep, we are bearish right there. We can take partial, we can reduce our risk right here. And yeah, now we can just wait for our manipulation. Or for something to tell us that, yeah, we should be done with shorts. Okay. This candle internal sub at the highs, again closing lower, so that means I still want to see lower. Also, I don't see any manipulation in that right now. Internal sub at the highs. Okay, kind of just pink candles, accumulation, internal sub. So now if you'll be able to get strong closure above this this area, you know, above that, I can see us rebalancing the range. Internal sub. Okay, can closing like this. Again, we should go lower to finally take that 835. Yep, there we go. Okay. I mean, we can, yeah, we can take it all right here at the purple line. Okay, internal sub, kind of closing like this. Possibly I still want to go a little lower. Again, we do have targets right here. We do have liquidity. Also smooth lows right there. We are entering the lunchtime, meaning what lunch, you know, is doing most of the time. We can just rebalance things. We can take some internals. Also, good thing for lunch. Before the lunch, who is winning? You know, since basically market open, the shorts are winning. So for lunch, we can kind of expect that we will just, you know, run it back a little higher. I'm not saying we are going for the highs again here. I'm just saying we should rebalance the range. Or if you want to rebalance the range, the lunch is perfect time for that. Okay, so now if you'll be able to get a strong closure about this accumulation, then I'll be probably looking for these highs to be taken, maybe possibly that 1128. But if you are still bearish, I don't think that we will go that far. We'll see. Okay, we are closing of those highs. Okay, so now we are inside this range. Internal sub right here. If you'll be able to get strong closure above that 12-12 candle, that could be a pretty good spot for long. And if not, we still can go a little lower to the EQ. We are souping the highs, we're not closing above them. Another internal soup, not a huge fan of that. And we are going lower. So now I would kind of expect us to come to that EQ of the range. And then we will see how we react in that. Okay, so we are now inside the OT of the previous range, retesting the order block on the left. So again, closure above that 12.19 candle right now would mean that I'm more bullish. If we'll be able to close strongly below 12.22 candle, that means I'm more bearish, and then I would like to see us taking the lows again. Okay, if you'll be able to close below that 12.28 candle, I will take a short targeting those lows at 12.01. It's kind of the same thing as before. We rebalanced the range for longs, now we are rebalancing the range for the shorts. We are kind of building liquidity right here. We do have internal soup inside the OTE, retesting the order block on the left. So now closure below that 12.28. Like, we'll definitely take that low of 12.22 if we close above that candle, but then I will be looking also for us to take that the lunch low basically. Right, we are closing below it. You can take two right here. In terms of TPs, I mean, best spot is always like that. That's pretty high right here. That's 12.29. You can put it right here. I can expect it will go lower. The safe spot is though like that high of 12.29. Okay, kind of slow candles. So now we can take kind of our scared partial if we want to. But still we should go lower for, yeah, right here. And that's our trade. Okay, are we taking finally something? No, not really. Okay. Also kind of sus how we just, created 7 consecutive candles going lower. Okay, closure about the order block right here. Now we rebalance this previous range. Now, since we are kind of closing above this 12.29, in my mind this could be possible manipulation, soup, and yeah, the question always is like, you will just run and go, or what we will do. But yeah, in this scenario we can enter right here. We can put our stop loss below that 12.42 candle, because we want to see us running right here if we are correct. Or you can put it below that order block or to the overall low. Like, it depends on you, on your risk management, and yeah. Also time wise, 12:30, a lot of it's key time. Internal soups, consecutive candles, closing like this. In terms of targets, I mean, it's not even a bad idea, you know, to just take scratch partial 12.18, but even though yeah, the thing is, we'll take liquidity. If we go to that level, we'll take liquidity, and the question is how strong we are in those longs, you know, because it can happen that we'll just run, but it can also happen that we'll just take the liquidity and we'll go to the 50%. In that scenario, we do have our stop loss in kind of 50% of the range. So yeah, Kai, another question: every time we end Friday with high volume, it usually carries over to next week, right? At least Monday. I mean, yeah, kinda, yeah. Also, the Monday will kind of dictate how will the Tuesday and Wednesday react. You know, like you could saw it this week. Monday was like market opened was pretty clean, and then you know it was just choppiness, and then PM was clean again, and that was kind of the same thing that happened in Tuesday, Wednesday. With Thursday and Friday it was a little different, but yeah, it was also because of the news and stuff, but yeah, but you are right. So now we are kind of retesting that CISD level right here. If you'll be able to get a strong closure above 1244, again I will be more bullish at that scenario. Internal soup, not a huge fan of those candles, just kind of slow, you know, reaching for something. Okay, closing over the level. Okay, with this is the last spot where we can kind of just expand higher. We took internals right here. If you draw the fib from 1235 low to this high, technically we can still go lower, but yeah, this scenario that I said to you guys, like our stop is inside the EQ, so it's not the best placement, but we will see. So now we took internals. If the next candle or two will close below the 1257, I would be more bearish. Then I would be entering or exiting the longs. Okay, we are closing out that candle, retesting of that overblock, and now if you would be able to close above 1254, then again I'm more bullish than bearish. There's our closure. Kind of retests of it. In terms of TPs, like the first TP should be these highs on the left, meaning I'm not sure if you'll go for that high, because if you are still bearish, we can have a little problem with taking that high, but still we should take some sort of internals, meaning we should take those highs even if you are bearish overall. Right now we are playing inside this range from 1256 to 108, and now we are tapping the EQ pretty much perfectly, internal sub right there. So now I would like to see this candle be the low for now, and now we should just push higher. Closure above that, perfect. We can reduce our stop, and yeah, now I would kind of expect us to go for these highs. Retest of the previous highs right here, also retest of that yesterday's 2 p.m. or the previous day 2 p.m. Now again we are closing above that 118 candle, closing order block, retest, pushing higher. Now first TP right here, awesome. Right, we can take one off. we can also reduce our risk even more. I don't like how we just printed so many, you know, green candles, and that's kind of sus to me. So we took those internals, now we are kind of accumulating, meaning again, if we'll get strong closure about the accumulation, we should take that high, and then possibly we can be looking at, you know, 10 a.m. retest or retap, some sort of LRLRs. Also, we do have these smooth highs that we were talking about previously, so we do have level liquidity on both sides. Strong candle closure above the accumulation, so now I don't want to see us coming back inside the accumulation and swooping additional liquidity. Now I want to see us just running, meaning we can reduce our risk, or if you are entering right here, you can put your stop loss below these lows. Internal sub at the highs. Okay, it's kind of like this. I would like to see this low be, you know, the low for now, and now we should just run and take the highs right here. Okay, perfect, strong candle to those highs. We can take it either all right here, or we can, you know, take a 10 a.m. retest or next manipulation. Again, it depends on you and your risk management. For me, I will trade my stop for now. Confirm. Alright. So now we are retested at 10 a.m. Meaning if we'll be able to close above it, I want to see even higher. Two candle closing a little lower, rebalancing the previous candle. As we know, every candle is arranged by itself. Creating another order block above 10 a.m. right now. So yeah, right now I don't see us even coming back to that 145 low. We're still going higher, meaning potentially we can go for these highs on the left, this swing point right here. Or we also do have little internal liquidity right here. Still, we are following bullish order flow right now, so okay, we are taking some sort of internals on the left. Our stop loss is also, you know, at the best placement for now, so we can just go a little further. Also, deep 2 p.m. is opening in a few minutes. 3 consecutive candles, also taking internals again. So now we can put our stop loss right here. Okay, 2 p.m. 2 p.m. took us out. We are swooping the internals right here. So now, if you'll be able to get strong closure above that 156 candle, I will be looking for even, you know, higher prices. In the same time, from lunch, you know, before lunch, who was winning shorts? What lunch did, basically we just, you know, rebalanced the previous range for now. So if you'll be able to, you know, strong bearishly below the 10 a.m. again, possibly, you know, we could go a little lower, rebalance the overall range for longs. We will see. We will see what's going to happen there. Okay, so it looks like we are kind of stuck in the range right here. Okay, so now your main task for you right now in this situation is just wait for us to leave this range. Most people will get wrecked inside of these ranges, trying to, you know, figure it out where we are escaping or not. This candle is looking promising. I don't like this candle just sweeping the lows right here, sweeping the internals and coming kind of back inside the range. Also, we just took internals, meaning if we are stuck in the range, we can kind of expect we'll go for the highs right now. Candle closure like that. I would like to see those highs being swept one more time, or potentially being, yeah, closed above. Yeah, so now we took the lows, we took the highs. Again, I'm not convinced yet that we are going to the other direction. Also, time-wise, the 230 could be something. Rebalancing into the OTE, pushing higher, a little slower, slowly, and the internal soup right here. I would like this candle to be potential high right now and coming back lower. Again, if you are playing ranges, you need to know where, when you want to take your, you know, partials. Like for me, if I'm taking short in here, the first TP would be at 221, and then I'll be looking for how we'll react after we'll take the lows right here, or maybe we'll not even take it. You know, that's the thing. So we can take 2 right here. We can put our stop loss at a candle high. Our first TP would be 221. There we go. And now we'll wait if we will be able to take that low of 213. We're gonna retest it at 10 AM. Internal soup. Another internal soup at the low. Okay, not a huge fan of that candle. Okay, so now we rebalance the range. If you'll be able to get a strong closure above 234 candle, I will be exiting my short position right here. Okay, we are out right here. And why? Because again, we took internals, now we can go again for lows, for the highs, and so on and so on. So again, best scenario for you, or best what you can do, just wait for us to escape the range properly, because now you can go just from internals to internals and you will get stuck in that loop. Now technically strong closure below 235 could be kind of spark of the move, kind of like that. Okay, now we are again closing below 230. Okay, so now we are kind of retesting the previous lows. Okay, same thing, we are retesting the previous lows, we are retesting 10 AM. So now if you'll be able to get closure below 247, I'll be looking for short entry with my stop above that 248, or you know, if you go a little higher, maybe you go that high. We'll see. Okay, this is our confirmation candle right here. I'm gonna go with 2, put our stop loss at the high, and now we should just, you know, see the distribution candles. We don't want to see us coming back inside the range. That will be more bullish again than bearish, because then we'll just again take the internals. We took internal right now, and yeah, that will be good for us. Strong candle, okay. Meaning we can go to the 50% still, and yeah, we'll see how we react from there. Okay, strong candle throughout the 50% of the range. I mean, we should go lower, but we can take one off right here. Our stop loss is also staying at the same placement. And what we are building, basically from the launch till now, it just swept in the one move. 3 p.m. And there is the launch low. Also, as we know, the launch liquidity, you can treat it as session liquidity, meaning you can put your launch low, launch high, and that's kind of strong liquidity point. We can take it all right here. And I mean we can be even done, because yeah, it's 3 p.m. nearly 4, yeah, 3. Intel soup right there. If you'll be able to get strong closure above 309, I mean, I'll be looking for rebalance of the previous range. Something like this, little retest. I kind of like this. We should go higher right now, but time-wise, candles are, you know, smaller and smaller. But yeah, I think we should go a little higher, possibly retest the EQ of the previous range, meaning the 218 candle high to this low. I just kind of don't like how we're building LRLR right here. Just like sometimes can't take a trade when you're building this. Four consecutive candles. Now, if you'll be able to get strong closure above this 330, I'll be looking for potential long entry. We're kind of closing above it. Okay, yeah, we close above it. This is our retest. We can take this. Not a huge fan how we just printed, you know, 5 consecutive candles, but still they should go higher. First TP, EQ of the range, then I'll be looking at this order block, how I'll react in that. Or, you know, I mean it's possible we'll go for the highs again, but I would be surprised if we go for them again. And after this big dump. Okay, 50%. There is one off. Also possible it will be straight down, straight up situation, but again, time wise and everything. Okay, order book right here, and we are just going through that. Okay, so now actually I can see us taking the highs again. Can reduce our risk. Small candles we are going to squeeze. And there is market closure right here. Okay. Alright, boys. This will be it for me. Do you have any questions or anything about any fractal that we just went over or anything else? Or not really? No questions? Okay.
Thanks, Pitbull. That was a good one.
For sure, guys. Yeah.
You know, from time to time, you need to get stopped so the others can relate.
Oh, sure. Rose, you are muted right now. I can't hear you.
No, still nothing, Rose.
Yeah, again, I'll DM DJ and yeah, he'll for sure post it.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, we gonna.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't know what was going on.
No, you're good.
Yeah, thank you so much. I get so much value out of this, Pitbull.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
really amazing. One question I had was, I see, down right where your, and I'm sorry if I screw this up, you see where your hand is on the, yeah, right there. If you go to the left, keep going right. Oops, sorry, to the strong displacement candle. Oops, almost just passed it in the middle of the range. Sorry, in the middle of where you just were.
This one?
So yeah, right there, like right there. Like, how did you know? So we closed over the range right there,
Yeah.
right, with a strong bullish candle.
Mm-hmm.
How did you know not to take it right there? Because you know what I mean. I wish I could point to the where it is. Sorry, but
Yeah, good.
it's you see the two consecutive bullish candles in the middle, right there. Yeah.
I
So
mean,
right when the yes, that candle right there. When we closed over the range right there, how did you know? I mean, I guess you could have taken it there,
you
but
could.
how did you know it would go right there?
I mean, it's just I didn't like how we just printed these, slow candles, and out of nowhere you have too strong. It's a little sus for me, but you for sure could enter right there and put your stop at the lows, and it would be good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Gotcha.
I just kind of waited for my dump clear, something to just in my brain to tell me like, okay, like this is the opportunity, and also
Gotcha. And you're
even
go ahead.
here,
Sorry.
no, sorry, even
Uh-huh.
here, like we just rebalanced the 50% of this previous range. I'm pretty sure we just hit it perfectly from the 322, basically to the high, 50%. But then you need to see strong closure above the 325. Like what's this? Those three candles, like it's nothing. It's sus by itself, and then internal sub at the highs. So then I kind of expecting like, okay, we are going lower, but how much lower are we going? So then you have the whole range basically from the 307 to this high.
Mm-hmm.
So then I need to see how we react inside that. To be honest, I can't imagine like we'll take that internal and then going higher, but best case scenario is just what happened. We'll just leave it there. This candle swooping the lows. If this candle by itself would close strongly above the 342, that's golden. That will be entered by itself. Stop at a low and just let it play out.
Gotcha.
But yeah, for sure you could enter right there. Like from the model perspective, everything, like yeah, you could. I wasn't a huge fan of how we get there, but yeah.
Gotcha. Perfect.
Also, Pitbull, if we stay in this fractal, like, can you count to three candles, three bearish candle manipulation?
Yeah.
So, several candles to the right, we not strongly, but we still displace above CISD. So that's exactly like one of the questions I've asked you. So we displace, we retest it with the next bearish candle, and then we kind of turtle soup it once, twice, then we retrace to 50%.
Yeah.
Yeah, with this move. Can you a little bit reiterate on the price action here? Because that's what I usually get kind of stuck at when we do displace above a potential manipulation, right? So here is like the next candle is my entry. So we're not able to close below, so we wicket, but next several candles are kind of janky to the upside. So first of all, where would be the proper stop loss placement? I suppose below the body of the candle that makes the displacement up.
Yeah. Like it is fractal by itself. Also, why I was more cautious and wasn't, pressing the button at the candle that close above this accumulation. I don't see proper manipulation in here. Like, yeah, this could be my money. I just didn't saw it at the moment. Like, looking at it right now, yeah, this could be my manipulation, soup, potential fair swing created. But at the time, I didn't saw it. I saw this PA as kind of accumulation right here by itself, internal soup right here, potential fair swing, and yeah, you need to see the displacement higher. So now, like you said, we just rebalance it to 50%. I mean, this entry, it depends. If I wouldn't be taking it, to be honest, I would need to see this candle for me to be like, okay, like we are probably going higher. How much higher? Probably to the EQ of the range. But then your stop
So like
would be this low.
Okay. So like this move is exactly why I stopped entering right on us displacing above CISD. Remember our conversation with Dad when I told that I need an additional confirmation with an order block forming and our displacement above it. I lose in terms of my entry level, but I get that additional confirmation. So that is exactly the fractal that I was failing so many times before. And so see this our like first displacement, then we retest, and with the next candle we fail to create an order block and displace above. Instead of it, we turtle soup it, and that's when that's how I see it, at least. So we're failing to displace, creating an order block. We turtle soup it, and that's when we need to retrace to maybe like grab some liquidity or something. So when it means that the move is simply not strong enough yet.
Yeah. Yeah. That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. That kind of makes sense, but those are exact the fractals I've been failing so many times before.
Yeah. Also, like in this candle by itself, we are just taking the internals. So, like DJ is saying, like after we take liquidity, we shouldn't be looking for longs anymore right here. But yeah, it's kind of
Also,
like,
you know what I see here? So our failure to close above with like a next order block for forming and us retracing back to 50%. Look to the left. We have an order block there. Yeah, more.
you mean this one?
And one more, above. Yes, this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So, and we have nothing, absolutely nothing above. So that might be the reason. We entered an order block, we had to retrace, and then we displaced above, and we just ran. That might also be an issue here.
Yeah, for sure. Like in hindsight, like we can be talking about, multiple scenarios in here. What happened? Yeah, for sure. We just hold it there, push it back lower, 50%, then we displace higher. Basically retest
It's just hard to keep in mind all those variables in live.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So
100%.
right. Thank you so much, Pitbull. I
Yeah, for
really
sure, guys.
appreciate your time and effort with us here,
Absolutely,
especially
guys.
on Friday night.
Yeah, yeah. It's already midnight over here, so yeah, I'll be going to the bed.
Right.
Cool.
You have a good night. You gentlemen have a wonderful weekend, and yeah, I'll be around probably in VC tomorrow. So
Yeah, likewise. All right,
Same.
boys.
all right.
So
Thank you
thank
so
you,
much.
All right,
and yeah,
Had a
everybody.
good one.
Thanks, guys. And have a good
okay.
Yeah.
night.
Take
Bye
care.
bye.